The Kansas City Chiefs have been the team to beat for half a decade now. 3 Super Bowl wins, 6 consecutive AFC Championship game appearances, and a quarterback in Patrick Mahomes who, even before turning 30, has already etched his name alongside the all-time greats. With Andy Reid drawing up masterpieces on the sidelines and Travis Kelce redefining what it means to play tight end, the Chiefs didn't just win, they dominated. Their offense wasn't just productive, it was mesmerizing. Fast, fluid, fearless. For years, they didn't just score, they overwhelmed, embarrassed, and dismantled defenses with ease. But as we enter the 2025 offseason, just weeks removed from the draft, and with the new season creeping closer, that aura of inevitability, it's fading. What was once a dynasty that felt untouchable now looks vulnerable. For the first time since Mahomes became the starter, Kansas City doesn't step into a new season simply as favorites. They arrive carrying real, pressing questions about the roster, the coaching staff, and whether the magic that made them great is starting to lose its power. Let's rewind to 2024. Statistically, the Chiefs' offense took a step back. A big one. They finished the year 15th in points per game, squarely in the middle of the pack. That might not sound disastrous on its own, but for a team that once made 30-point games feel routine, it was jarring. The signature big plays, the chunk gains, the deep bombs, the trickery that turned defenders inside out, they weren't there. Mahomes was still brilliant, still battling, still creating miracles, but you could feel it. He was carrying more than ever before, and he was doing it with less. And one of the big issues? The offensive line. Just 2 years ago, that unit had rebuilt from the ground up after the Super Bowl loss to Tampa Bay. But now, it feels like that rebuild has hit a wall. A unit once praised for being young, aggressive, and dominant has become inconsistent, injury-prone, and, at times, outright shaky. Jawayne Taylor, who was handed a massive contract to anchor the right side, struggled to drive killing penalties all year. On the left, Jalen Moore, forced into the starting role, had a brutal season filled with missed assignments and constant pressure from his side. Injuries didn't help either. Joe Thuney, one of the league's most dependable guards, missed crucial time, weakening the interior and exposing the line's lack of depth. The Chiefs responded by going back to the draft. In the first round, they selected Josh Simmons, a big physical tackle with undeniable upside. But Simmons is still raw. Starting a rookie at one of the most critical positions in football, especially on a team with championship aspirations, is a gamble. And it says a lot about how desperate the Chiefs are to find answers. They're hoping youth and athleticism can make up for a lack of cohesion and experience. But that's a fragile bet, and on one that could crack under pressure if things don't go perfectly. And then there's the wide receiver room, another sore spot. For years, the Chiefs leaned on a rotating cast of speedsters and role players, trusting Mahomes to make it work. That formula has started to wear thin. Rashee Rice was the bright spot in 2024. He flashed real potential as the number 1 option, showing toughness, separation ability, and chemistry with Mahomes. But then came the injury. A late-season blow that derailed his momentum and leaves questions about how quickly he can return to form. He's back now, reportedly progressing well, but there's a difference between being healthy and being your old self. Last offseason, the Chiefs attempted to address their wide receiver issue by adding Marquise Hollywood Brown in free agency. On paper, it was a smart move. He brings elite speed and some veteran savvy. But Brown's track record is streaky. He's battled injuries, struggled with consistency, and hasn't always lived up to the expectations that followed him out of college. Can he be relied upon week in and week out? That's still unclear. Then there's Xavier Worthy, the 2024 first-round pick who famously ran a record-setting 40-yard dash at the Combine. He's got elite traits, but hamstring issues have slowed him this offseason, delaying his development just when the Chiefs need him most. Beyond those 3, the depth chart is murky. Juju Smith-Schuster is back, but he's no longer the playmaker he once was. He's more of a possession guy now, someone who can move the chains but doesn't strike fear into defenses. Jalen Royals and Tyquan Thornton offer upside, but they're far from proven. And more importantly, the Chiefs still lack that alpha receiver, the kind who can tilt coverage, win one-on-one, and dictate terms to a defense. The kind they once had in Tyreek Hill. Without that guy, the offense often feels like it's searching for answers instead of dictating them. And yes, Travis Kelce is still here. Still a superstar. Still Mahomes' most trusted weapon. But he's 36 now, and 2024 marked the first time since his rookie season that he failed to eclipse 1,000 receiving yards. He missed time with nagging injuries, and while he was still brilliant in flashes, especially in the postseason, you can sense that the end might be closer than anyone wants to admit. Cleese has hinted that retirement isn't far off, and when that day comes, the Chiefs have no clear plan. Noah Gray is serviceable, but not special. There is no heir apparent, and replacing Kelce is, well, almost impossible. Compounding the problem is the offensive scheme. In 2024, under Matt Nagy, the Chiefs' offense became noticeably more conservative. Gone are the long developing plays, the deep crosses, the vertical threats. In their place, short routes, checkdowns, timing throws. It was safe, it was efficient at times, but it was also predictable. Defenses adjusted. They crowded the line of scrimmage, dared Mahomes to beat them down, and often he couldn't, not with the personnel he had. That tactical shift neutered one of the league's most explosive units and contributed to offense stalling in key moments. Nowhere was that more evident than the Super Bowl. Against the Eagles, a rematch of their 2023 triumph, the Chiefs got steamrolled. The final score, 40-22. But even that doesn't capture how lopsided the game felt. Mahomes was under siege all night, sacked 6 times. The offensive line was overwhelmed. The run game, non-existent. Kansas City managed just 23 yards rushing in the first half. Every drive felt like a struggle. The Eagles dictated the terms, and the Chiefs never adjusted. It wasn't just a loss, it was a statement, one that exposed the fragility behind Kansas City's armor. And that loss spotlighted a broader truth. The cracks are real. The offensive line is no longer dominant. The receiving core is no longer deep. The scheme is no longer innovative. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like Mahomes, while still brilliant, might not be enough to cover all those gaps. But here's the thing, this team still has a shot. Because while the offense stumbled, the defense? It was phenomenal in 2024. Steve Spagnuolo's unit was one of the best in football. Top 2 in points allowed, top 5 in sacks. Elite on third downs. Chris Jones remained a game wrecker. George Karlaftis blossomed into a star. Trent McDuffie locked down his side of the field. And in the secondary, Shamari Connors emerged as a breakout player in year 2, giving Kansas City the kind of young, ascending talent that every team dreams of. That defense carried the Chiefs through stretches of the season. It kept games close when the offense sputtered. It won them playoff battles. But here's the catch. Elite defenses don't last forever. Contracts expire, injuries happen, players regress. If that unit takes even a small step back in 2025, the pressure on the offense increases exponentially. And the truth is, the Chiefs' front office hasn't helped themselves much. For years, they've taken a high-risk, high-reward approach to roster building, especially at wide receiver. Instead of paying for proven talent, they opted to develop prospects, hoping that Mahomes could elevate whoever they gave him. The gamble worked, until it didn't. It nearly cost them in 2024, and heading into this season, that same risk feels even more dangerous. The margins for error has shrunk to a razor's edge. Drafting Josh Simmons was a message. They're not rebuilding, they're reloading. Betting on upside, not stability. And maybe that gamble pays off, but Simmons becomes a franchise tackle. Maybe Rice bounces back. Maybe Worthy gets healthy, Hollywood stays healthy, and the offense recaptures its spark. But it's a lot of maybes. And meanwhile, the rest of the AFC is ascending. CJ Stroud and the Texans are coming fast. The Ravens and Bengals aren't going anywhere. The Bills, Broncos, Chargers, all loaded. For the first time since Mahomes became the guy, the Chiefs aren't alone at the top. They're in a street fight. Every game is a war. Every mistake matters. Kansas City is still a contender. As long as number 15 is under center, you can't count them out. But this team is walking a tightrope now. One injury, one bad game, one wrong adjustment. That's all it takes to go from contender to chasing. Every dynasty has its turning point. The Patriots had theirs. The Seahawks had theirs. The Chiefs? They're at the crossroads right now. If the stars align, if youth matures quickly, if the defense holds firm, if Mahomes and Kels keep doing the impossible, then yes, a fourth Lombardi is within reach. And if they win that, they're talking about a legacy that rivals the greatest runs in NFL history. But if the gamble fails, if the line crumbles, if the receivers don't develop, if the defenses regress, we might be witnessing something else. Not a collapse, but the slow, quiet beginning of the end. What do you think? Can the Chiefs navigate this transition? Can Mahomes keep conjuring magic from nothing? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives all season. The 2025-2026 Chiefs season is going to be one of the most fascinating stories in recent NFL history, and we'll be covering every step of the journey. Thanks for watching.